That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Tell me about yourself. 4 simple words that can make anyone ramble or freeze. Even people at the top of their game can go blank when they hear those dreaded words. So what does that mean? Does your introduction really make that big of a difference? I never thought it did. I thought my introduction wasn't nearly as important as my qualifications. For example, right after I started my business, I had the perfect opportunity to shine. I was interviewing as an instructor for a supply chain institute, and I knew I was the ideal candidate. I had over 20 years of expertise leading supply chains for one of the world's largest consumer products companies. As I prepped for my interview, I didn't want there to be any doubts about my qualifications. I created an elevator pitch and included a complete list of my accomplishments. When I heard "Tell me about yourself," I was ready, and I proudly explained everything that I could do. When I finished, the interviewer said, instead of talking about yourself, it would have been more effective if you had explained what you can do for me. My interview lasted 5 minutes. She rejected me on the spot based off of one answer. That was my wake-up call. I realized it doesn't matter how smart you are, it doesn't matter how perfect a fit you are if you can't capture someone's attention. After that, I became laser focused on cracking the code on introducing myself. I studied the science of first impressions. I researched viral headlines and what made them so irresistible. And then I discovered the secret of introducing myself perfectly in 20 words or less. Fast forward about 6 months. I'm having coffee with the executive director of a business development program. She asks me, "What do you do?" I answer her in one sentence. I'm a communications consultant, and I help people with something to say but struggle to say it. She leans in and says 3 magic words. "Tell me more." 15 minutes later, she hires me to give workshops for new entrepreneurs. But here's the thing. I was the same person who blew that interview just 6 months before. But this time, I got the job, even though I had way fewer qualifications. And the only thing different between success and failure, between that door of opportunity opening or slamming shut in my face, was my introduction. From that point on, I started to see my introduction in a whole new light. It wasn't just a way of grabbing someone's attention. I thought about all those times when I would hear no, and my inner critic would tell me that people didn't see me or hear me because I wasn't good enough or smart enough. But that was wrong. It wasn't me, it was my introduction. All right, are you ready to introduce yourself in 20 words or less? I'm gonna start with 2 secrets of getting people to say, "Tell me more." Secret number 1. Think soundbite, not data dump. That's because with today's multitasking attention deficit audiences, it's been said you have a better chance of engaging with a goldfish than the person that you're talking to. A 20-word introduction is designed to grab someone's attention and get them to say, "Tell me more." Secret number 2. Do you remember what that interviewer told me? Don't talk about yourself. Instead, explain what you can do for them. I called the difference between an about me versus an about you introduction. An about me introduction sounds like this. I'm an award-winning, best-selling author. Compare that to, I help new authors get published faster. Can you hear the difference? One describes me, the other describes what I can do for you. Now that you know the secrets, here are 5 ways to introduce yourself perfectly in 20 words or less. I'm going to start with a straightforward about you introduction. The formula is, I help my target audience achieve a benefit they desire. For example, I help worried job hunters confidently explain why they're the ideal candidate to hire. Now, here's a tip about your benefit. A benefit answers your listener's question, how will my life be different? For the second framework, let's go beyond offering a benefit. Let's promise a breakthrough. The formula is the same as the benefit one, but you're going to add the word without. I help my target audience achieve a benefit they desire without negative consequence. I help established brands in competitive markets rapidly reach new audiences without increasing marketing spend. The word without is so powerful because that's how you explain what makes you unique. For the last 3 frameworks, here's what to say if you don't want to focus on your career. For example, you're mission-driven, or you're on a career pivot. Maybe you're a student and you don't have a lot of work experience. In this case, you can use your passion, your mission, or your strength. I'll start with your passion. I'm passionate about something I value to achieve something my target audience values. I'm passionate about helping people in need and creating opportunities that change lives. Next, instead of your passion, you can use your strength. I'm known for my strength to achieve something my target audience values. I'm known for my critical thinking and turning information into actionable insights. Last, you can use your mission. I'm on a mission to achieve something my target audience values. I'm on a mission to bridge the healthcare divide and make a lasting difference for vulnerable communities. And that's how you use your passion, your mission, or your strength. Now that you've seen the 5 introductions, your next step, try them out. Don't be surprised if you find yourself using more than one. That's because different audiences value different things. So what works for one may not work for another, but that's okay. You'll see there are multiple ways of getting people to say, "Tell me more." I'll close with this thought. Have doors been closed in your face? Do you struggle to be seen and heard? Does your inner critic tell you you're not good enough or smart enough, or that you're an imposter and something is way above your pay grade? Before you buy into your inner critic's narrative, let me challenge you. What if? What if that voice inside your head is wrong? What if you are good enough and smart enough? What if the best way to describe you is impressive, not imposter? And what if the only thing between you and being seen, heard, and recognized is your introduction in 20 words?